we have to start with Stephen Curry. Just an absolute masterclass from Steph in this game, I think, in terms of getting separation, in terms of on-ball dominance, and in terms of shot making. Like, some of this shit was just absurd that Steph did.
Well, his touch near the basket remains probably the most underrated part of his offensive arsenal. Everyone wants to discuss the shooting ability, whether it's off the dribble and the deep range, the quick trigger, or on the move, and how he just never stops running around screens throughout the course of the game. And all those things are revolutionary and have unlocked the Warriors to become a championship core. But this is a guy who, on the right side or the left side of the basket, has every type of finish: teardrops, inside hand finishes, anything with English off the glass. He makes all of them, and he makes it look so effortless and easy while being one of the skinniest guys trying to finish amongst the trees. Like, to me, that was the most impressive part of his performance today, is just how easy he made it look when he got near the basket.
No, it's 100% right. And Steph, look, I mean, he made 7 threes in this game. That seems like a lot for normal people, but when Steph goes for 50, you can sometimes see him go for 10 threes in a game, right? You can see him go for 11. I thought that the most impressive part of this from Steph was the driving game, the way that he played against some of the over aggression that the on-ball defenders gave him, specifically in isolation and in handoff situations. Maybe we should just dive into the tape first and just kind of do this while we're talking, because I thought what Steph did was phenomenal in this game. But the first thing I actually want to showcase here is not Steph. It is the first play of the game. I thought it was just absolutely phenomenal, and it's something we're going to talk about a lot with the Kings here with Domantas Sabonis. If I'm the Kings, I think this series gives me a lot of questions about if Domantas Sabonis can anchor a positive defense in the playoffs. Domantas Sabonis is going to be third team All-NBA this year. The Kings as an organization very clearly have to be ecstatic with what they've gotten from Sabonis. And I would imagine that in many cases, Kings fans cannot be upset about the Tyrese Halliburton deal anymore. They made the playoffs. They won 48 games this year. They pushed the Golden State Warriors to 7 games. I think there's so much to be absolutely thrilled about. And yet there is still so much to have real worry about. So we're going to watch here. This set is just absolutely fantastic. We're going to see Kevon Looney come up, set a very high ball screen. I think that more than anything, to me, the reason I wanted to showcase this first clip from the first possession of the game, a big adjustment that I thought the Warriors made in this game was more ball screens higher up the court in order to get Steph in even more space to elongate that mid-range area for their bigs in short roll scenarios. I thought that setting ball screens higher up the court was a really solid adjustment from Steve Kerr in this game. So here, this is just a set, by the way. We're just looking here. Steph's going to throw the ball to the wing to Dre. Dre's going to catch it, and he's going to throw that beautiful left-hand pass right in the pocket there to Kevon Looney, who is typically in that short roll area. And this is something that was concerning for the Kings all game from the first possession onward. Their defense on the weak side was not good enough. And this is something that hurt them throughout the series, but particularly today, I'm going to show you multiple clips about how that backside tagging defender, that low man, was not available enough, in my opinion. And here, Keegan Murray is just late and he doesn't get there in time. And that's an easy dunk for Kevon Looney.
Yeah, it's a great play designed by Steve Kerr. You know they're going to send 2 at Stephen Curry, and instead of trying to have Curry pass over the top of a trap, they throw it to Draymond and make him the entry pass point to get the ball into the lane. So absolutely poor help defense to start. I thought Steve Kerr was deep in his bag all day, as Mike Jones would say.
Yeah.
Mark Jones, deep in his bag like the fries at the bottom, right? Like all of the plays that he drew up worked to perfection and were really smart ways of leveraging what the Kings wanted to do or didn't do well enough against them.
Yeah. And, you know, like we talked a lot about how they sent 2 at the ball oftentimes, but the other thing that was just strange for me for the Kings, and they did this throughout the series, you know, there were multiple clips that we have seen. We're going to watch this one here. This is just going to be I believe an entry and then a misdirection dribble handoff, essentially, where Steph throws this like little mini no look pass here to Kevon Looney. and then he's going to stop, and then he's going to misdirection, just sprint backward to get a handoff from Looney. And you're going to see here, Sabonis is just like almost not paying attention. Like he has his head turned like this whole way. Head is still turned even when Steph starts the misdirection cut backward in order to get into the handoff. And Sabonis is just going to be late. And at that point, you're dead against Stephen Curry. You have to have your head on a swivel. And Sabonis was just late here. And that is not something you can do.
Well, and it's tough with those chase actions when you're guarding a non-shooter like Looney or Draymond, because your instinct, if you're Sabonis, is to back up. It's a non-shooter. I don't need to crowd him out there. The rim is completely unprotected. I'd probably do myself some good by backing up and giving space. You can't do that with Steph. You have to stay attached at least enough where if De'Aaron Fox gets hung up like he does, you can get a contest in there.
It's 100% right. And again, like this is going to be a big Domantas Sabonis show defensively, unfortunately. Again, Domantas Sabonis, great season, deservedly going to be third team All NBA. He got hit pretty hard in this game. So here we're going to see higher ball screen again. And then Domantas Sabonis just right over the top of, or Stephen Curry right over the top of Sabonis here with this beautiful layup. And again, this is a shot that very few people can make, but also I think it goes to show the lack of length Sabonis brings around the basket. If this is a longer defender, I don't know that Steph goes for this shot. And because it's not, he feels like he can get the proper loft. He thinks he can get the proper touch to be able to finish over the top of Sabonis here. Again, I think that this one is going to be another very, very high ball screen where what you're going to notice here off of the very high ball screen. Sorry, I got a call and had to kill it. You're going to notice rejects this second screen here and just look at Sabonis get sealed off. Look at Draymond Green, just seal off Sabonis there. Makes it easy. Another thing here that you're going to notice, this is where Terrence Davis enters the fold. We talked a lot about how good Terrence Davis was in game 6, chasing Stephen Curry, bringing a physical presence, bringing that more powerful frame against him. That was non-existent today. What Steph did to adjust to what Terrence Davis was bringing him defensively is specifically what I was talking about in the open. Yeah. Terrence Davis is a very over-aggressive player. He does not have the patience or the discipline typically to play in these tough matchups. He is someone that you can throw on a guy for 20 minutes and he might frustrate him and might annoy him, but the good players are always going to figure him out. Yep. It's always over aggression. It's always that just like right up tight on you. And as soon as Steph recognizes it here, again, you're going to see this initial high ball screen. And again, Davis just goes all the way to the right behind the back dribble. And there it is again, the finish with the sealed off Sabonis from Draymond.
Yeah, so from a roster construction standpoint, I feel like the Kings need those hyper-aggressive guards because they don't have the same backline rim protection. Their best chance against Steph or any type of good perimeter players is to really pressure them, see if you can prevent them from going around you, force turnovers, whatever that may be. But the Warriors, both from a scheme standpoint and from Steph, like you said, figuring this out, were able to expose the weakest point of that Kings defense in Sabonis. And that's not Domantas Sabonis slander, right? Let's steal a phrase from Nekias Duncan over there. Like that's not Sabonis slander. It's just the weakest spot on the lineup for the Kings that Golden State had a marginal advantage at. I thought they went at him through ball screens a lot more in the first half. And then, as we'll probably see a little bit later, they just out-muscled him in the second half.
Yeah, and again, notice here this next clip, super high ball screen again, getting Sabonis in space. And he's just way too open here, Sabonis. Like you can see this, like this is just shooting fish in a barrel for Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, who have just been around the block for so long. This is way too easy for them to hit this pocket pass. And again, what you will see, backside tagger, Terrence Davis, way too late rotating over. He is on Gary Payton right now. All due respect to Gary Payton. Gary Payton can't shoot. It's inexcusable to be this late if you're Terrence Davis on the backside when your responsibility is Gary Payton in the corner.
Yeah, and again, at this point, that clip, I think one of the last few of the first quarter, like if you're the Sacramento Kings help side defenders, you have to know that they're trying to target Sabonis. So your help has to be a little bit earlier to buy him time when he gets strung out on the perimeter. It was the lack of adjustment from some of those guys from a help defensive standpoint that allowed the rim to stay open again and again and again.
Yep, that's exactly right. Here we go again, Terrence Davis. The goal here, I think, from Davis, he thinks he has help to the right side of the court, and he thinks he has rim protection. He's trying to keep Stephen Curry out of the middle here. He thinks that Clay is about to come up and set a screen to try and get Steph back to the middle. Steph just goes before the screen gets there, and this is way too easy for Steph to get into the middle of the paint. And again, does not really care that Sabonis is there. He's just going to go and finish up over the top of Sabonis every single time. Here we go again. One thing that you and I talked about on the show on Saturday was the way that Terrence Davis was able to get around those curls and try and get back into the play. What I think the Warriors and what Steph did that adjusted here a little bit more cleanly was I thought that he started his curls a little bit lower on the court this time. So here he basically gets to the top of the key with that bottom foot. As you can see, it's a little bit hard to rewind perfectly here, but he's getting almost down to that bottom of the key there with that low foot. And then he's going. And here we go. Dribble handoff from Dre. Again, Trey Lyles just goes under this dribble handoff. And if you go under a dribble handoff against Steph, it is curtains. It is very difficult. Getting into the third quarter now. What is this one? This one is, I believe, Steph coming off of some sort of off-ball action here, where, again, I believe Terrence Davis is going to try and loop around him and way overplay and get his weight distribution stuck on that right foot again. And Steph recognizes it immediately and just goes around him. Help defense from the elbow there from Harrison Barnes is just like that split second too late. And it's an easy finish again, right at the basket. Here we go. Steph, this is just off of an offensive rebound chaos. Third quarter, the Golden State Warriors ended up with 13 offensive rebounds in the first 10 minutes in the third quarter. That is really, I think, what swung the game in a substantial way toward the Golden State side. All of that action off of the glass was really, really hard, I thought, for Sacramento to get stops. They got some okay stops. It was just that they had to get more and more and more of them because they couldn't grab the ball on the offensive glass. And again, Kevon Looney, I think, deserves an immense amount of credit. This was maybe the career-defining series for Kevon Looney in many ways. When the Warriors' backs were up against the wall, Kevon Looney came, and Kevon Looney absolutely provided an immense amount of production and rebounding and defensive intensity. Here, this is just a scramble where Keegan Murray gets stuck out on Steph, and Steph is going to get lower leverage than Keegan here. He gets lower, gets by him. Easy finish off the glass. Spins.
We say that, but that's not an easy. And all of these are not he is a touch god, Steph really. Curry, when he gets in here. This is a difficult ass finish to float that high up the glass with one hand. He is so good at doing that. And look, the story of this game was in the first half for Golden State, it was the Steph show, but nobody else seemed to show up. Wiggins couldn't hit a shot. Klay Thompson could not hit a shot at all. Jordan Poole was making bad decision after bad decision. And Steph was keeping them in it with, I think he had close to 30 in that first half. And it was Looney, the other guy who stepped up, that really was okay, it's not just Steph. Now we have somebody else who's out here battling and making plays. And then the floodgates opened.
Yeah, and you bring up the idea of how this is way more difficult. I mean, the crazy difficult thing here is just the one-handed gather, right? Your one-hand gathering going up into that insane floater finger roll off the glass. The thing that helps here is that Trey Lyles goes for a charge, and Steph knows before that he is not going to get all the way there. But it's just insane. Steph is an unbelievable player. Again, super high ball screen. super high ball screen here. They get the switch because of how good the screen is from Draymond and how he stays attached there. And then it's just Stephen Curry against Trey Lyles. Trey thinks he's going up for the pull up. That's an easy layup for Stephen Curry there. Steph here. This is Kevin Huerter on Steph. They tried numerous options against Steph. Here you go. Another great handoff from Draymond. Another great screen here. And he just does not care that Domantas Sabonis is the one rolling over from the weak side, rotating to try and protect the rim. There's just nothing that Sabonis can really do to slow down Steph there. Again, another action where ball goes over to Clay. Steph acts like he's going to go and be the release valve and then just cuts immediately. Just absolutely cuts. And again, this is a great adjustment from Steph from game 6 to game 7. He knows that Terrence Davis is going to overplay him. He knows it. Look, stops on a dime on the K in the Kings. Davis, again, way overplaying, way over aggressive. He's able to get that little bit of space immediately and able to go get the handoff. And again, stops. Davis is way over pursued again. Opens up the lane. Easy finish for Steph at the basket again. Just
blind
ridiculous.
Pig action. Love it.
Just absolutely ridiculous stuff here. And this one is just sicko mode at this point for Steph. Like, there's nothing else to say about that. That's just gross. I don't even think the Kings defended that poorly. That's just absolutely filthy. This one here, again, absolutely filthy off of like a broken play, essentially. Steph goes, shoots like a 15-foot floater runner that goes in, as Spin said, touch God, basically. This is a really fun set where they have, I think, 1.6 left on the shot or on the shot clock here. And what you're going to notice here, Steph gets his momentum going forward before he actually inbounds the ball, giving himself just that little bit of extra speed and downhill space to try and get separation from De'Aaron Fox. Fox just totally looking the other way here. I have no idea. I don't know. I can't really explain that from De'Aaron Fox there. And that's just wide open for Steph. Of course, he's going to make that one. And then here, this is just the curtains. This is beautiful. Just gets right by Domantas Sabonis. That's his 50 ball. That is how Steph beat the Sacramento Kings. The Kings, they worked their ass off in the series, and they did a really great job, I thought, of fighting and scratching and clawing. I thought they played better defensively in this series than what I expected them to play. But when it mattered in game 7, Stephen Curry stepped up. He completely dominated the Kings. Kevon Looney stepped up, completely dominated Domantas Sabonis on the glass.